mirror with the doll. I believe the doll has fallen to the deck, if that's correct. Cogsworth slash Fumble is still holding the mirror, but as if anyone who happens to be nearby them can look over and see that their eyes have gone completely blank again, uh, which could be a result of this, or it could just be another malfunction inside the Warforged. This
Yeah.
has happened before. You guys are getting a little bit used to it now. Uh,
Um, I'm gonna pick up the doll as soon as possible.
all right. The cloaked figures are still looking around in a state of shock. Uh, the woman is kind of backing away, her eyes very wide. She definitely looks human. It's hard to tell the features of the cloaked figures. Um, you're hearing the cloaked figures kind of shouting something, but it doesn't sound at all familiar to any of you.
Okay, so to the girl in the white coat, I say, "Who are you?"
And she's actually kind of saying stuff in the same language as the cloaked figures, and doesn't appear to understand what you're saying to her. The cloaked figures kind of spin, and you kind of catch the face of one of them nearby, Dread, with kind of like humanoid features, some sharper teeth, and it growls and lunges. So initiative time.
Lunging at
Oh,
me.
Yep, lunging at you. See which of them gets there first. Roland is still oddly enough fast asleep.
I roll with disadvantage because I'm exhausted.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that also makes your character is exhausted, and you said you were tired too. I think.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it
There you
actually quite
go.
fits. It quite fits. And Topaz, you might have an opportunity to realize there's something going on up here if you like.
Well, I was firing like lightning bolts at the
Yeah, and
water.
there was a perception check which Topaz failed. Volan succeeded, but Volan decided she didn't care.
Right. Gotcha.
Oh, whoops! I still have this on whisper to myself. 1 second on that. No, do not. Never. I hate when these things automatically whisper rolls. Alright, so. Lubu, you're going first. You're seeing the one
Mm,
cloaked figure begin to lunge for Dread, seemingly unprovoked.
I'm gonna move over here,
Okay.
um, and then I'm going to um, gonna. All right, just gonna cast Urchin Spine for now, and then I want to check Awaken Mind really quick. Doesn't ugh, doesn't specifically say what kind of action it is. So I'd like to try and communicate with the mystery woman and be like,
I think I'll let that as a bonus action, but just in case, can you post it up here, please?
sure.
Yeah. You don't need to share the language of the creature for it to understand your utterings, but the creature must be able to understand at least one language. Yes. Okay. Cool. So you're trying to talk to the mystery woman. All right.
We're like, are these guys? Are you with these guys?
And you're just kind of you're getting back a very terrified string. It's like, who, uh, keep away from me. And she seems to be looking like she's terrified of you as well as these cloaked figures. It's weird. You're getting kind of like mumbled thoughts, but pretty much the main thing you're getting from that is even when you're asking her a direct question, she's like, "Keep away from me," because she's looking at you.
Cool.
But she
That
definitely seems
I feel like
terrified of
that's
cloaked
fine.
figures.
Cool.
So the cloaked figure here is the one that's swinging at Dread. Uh, and it's swinging with, because it's just swinging, I'm going to use a one hand strike. I guess to do that 2 times. don't think either of those hit because you're in lovely paladin armor, aren't you?
Yes.
So it's like swing, slant, and then swing again, and first one misses, and second one just kind of clings off your armor, and again muttering in some language that's not particularly recognizable.
All right. I'll actually provoke another attack as I move there.
Okay.
Because that's one of the three, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's gonna strike at you again, and misses.
And then I'll activate my aura, so they have to make a save.
Okay. Let's see. You force each creature you see within failed save. Okay. Wisdom saving throw from all three. What's the DC? Your DC?
DC would be 16. Looks like one made it.
Yeah. So the one in the far corner made it, but these two.
Two who failed are affected by this.
Yes. By fear.
They can no longer move.
Yeah. Frightened creature has disadvantage on ability attacks and attack rolls while in the source of its fear. The creature cannot willingly move closer to the source of its fear.
Yeah.
Which means those two both get disadvantage, which is cool. And
Yeah.
this one over here cannot move closer to you. So this one is like starts screaming in terror, putting its hands to its head, spins, and sees Lobu. And there's a look of complete rage on its face when it sees you for some reason. And it has a disadvantage, so I have to put my random toggle on. At a disadvantage, and it wildly swings 2 times at you, Lobu. Missing both times. Noxie!
I'm going to come over and flank with Dovin. And I'm going to attack with daggers.
Nice.
If this would work. Okay. And then
So it lets out
bonus
a
action.
piercing scream as you stab it through the back, blood dripping down into its cloak and a bit splattering onto the deck.
Is he still alive?
He's still alive.
Okay. I will also like to hit him with my other dagger.
Damn.
This one just kind of tears the fabric of the cloak, and you see there's like a small red welt open up in its back. A little bit of blood kind of seep down.
Right, that's my turn.
Topaz, you're underwater. You're swimming in the fish. Roll a perception check. Yeah, you kind of hear a weird clanging noise from down there. This is probably from when the cloaked figure hit Dread's armor. And it's a strange sound. It's kind of reminds you, it's a bit muffled because of the water, but it is a strange sound.
Swim to the surface and poke my head up, take a look.
And at this point, you hear something screeching in pain. This is from Nox. He's stabbing that guy up on the ship.
What the? I start swimming that way.
I think you should probably be able to, with your swim speed and dash, be able to get to the top of the ship by the beginning of your next turn.
Okay.
Oh, you were. Oh, that's right. There was damage from attacking you, wasn't it? My bad, Lobu.
It is. It feels too
Don't
powerful,
don't
though.
nerf it. You're level what? We're level 7 now.
That's true. All right.
They should have made rolls. That hits them even if they're not. Even if they didn't land a blow, right? That's not like
Yeah.
Armor of Agatha. Okay, cool.
It just says if targeted,
Okay.
basically.
That's pretty awesome. So Dovin, it's now your turn.
The urchin spines? Oh, that's
That's
a great spell.
Yeah, that's really neat. I like it.
It's definitely for like, don't even think about attacking me.
And it fits with Libby's character perfectly.
Does the woman look hurt?
Roll a perception check. You glance away for 1 second from the cloaked figure in front of you. Thankfully, they are a little bit too distracted to strike at you. And she doesn't look hurt. There are a couple of splatters of blood, but it looks like, the cast off from being too close to when somebody else was getting stabbed. But not the sort of
Got
cast
it.
off of she stabbed anybody. No, it's more like, people around her got stabbed. She got splattered with some of the blood, and she was backing away. It doesn't look like she's hurt, but she is clearly terrified and confused.
Okay. In that case, I'm just gonna fire a frostbite at the one that Noxie just attacked,
All right.
and just try and call out for them, like wave my hands in the air, like stop, 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 stop.
Like you just don't care.
Yeah, exactly like that.
All right. So roll your frostbite.
But yeah, forgot.
And I will allow you. Let's see, let's see if this guy's even still alive after this. Let's see, Constitution saving throw. Nope. So as you start waving your hands in the air, stop. After casting the spell, you notice that the guy just sort of freezes in place, and you hear you hear that sound of.
Well,
And
he stopped.
As you glance into the hood,
Yeah.
you kind of see that the features are now completely covered in ice. It's kind of like that scene in Saw 3. For those of you who watch bizarre horror movies.
Let's talk this over. Oh, and here's some cold damage.
It doesn't usually hit that hard. It kind of rolled pretty well.
Yeah, that's actually a really good roll.
Like,
Stop! Wait. Oh dear.
My bad.
That was cold-blooded.
Hey.
The cloaked figure looks at the woman, looks at the rest of you. Glares at in Dread's direction and charges at her. Attacks with a two-handed sword. Oops, that wasn't supposed to be a disadvantage, but I don't think even with normal straight rolls here that would have hit.
No.
So, yeah. Libu.
All right. Lobo's just gonna move up behind this guy and attack with flanking. Tuscan Tooth.
Alright. Stab your blades into this guy's belly. You just kind of rip down and you see blood spilling everywhere. You see a kind of a flash of a face under that hood. And you see bits of sharp teeth and kind of a humanoid visage. Just kind of growling at you.
Is this anything I've ever seen before?
Roll a nature check.
Oops. Just a 7.
Yeah. It's weird. It kind of reminds you of a hobgoblin, sort of.
Sort of.
Instead, Dread, you're up.
Alright, so Are these any type of undead or fiend if I activate smite?
I guess there's only one way to find out, isn't there?
I have to add a dice if they're.
Oh, then no. They aren't. I thought you were saying like you're only gonna activate smite if that. No. There seem to be bleeding as any normal creature.
Looking at the one between Lobu and I.
Mm-hmm. You immediately like, come smashing down, and you hear, and the body just slumps to the ground.
Looking to the other one with my last swing.
That one kind of like seems to see you out of the corner of its eye and just dodges a bit.
Okay.
Actually, no, not out of the corner of its eye. It's staring right at you, so it kind of sees your move coming and dodges backward.
Yeah, that's end of turn.
Noxie.
I'm just gonna come around the corner here. And I'm going to stab this guy in the back as well.
Alright. Okay, that one misses.
Oh, it does? Okay.
Yeah, hold on. Did I make something
And
miss?
again.
Did I make something hit earlier when it shouldn't have? No, I didn't. Okay, just want to double check on that. But yeah, that one missed.
I wonder if sneak attack would still apply because I didn't hit.
I think it is. I think it's like the first hit it gets sneak attack, not the first attack. Not 100% on that, but
Yeah, it's once you hit with an attack.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's first hit.
In that case, I will keep it with my offhand. For some reason, it didn't roll sneak attack, but that's okay.
You can like manual. There you go. All right.
And that'll be my turn.
Okay. Topaz.
All right, so where am I?
You're climbing up on the deck
Just in time to see.
to see Doxy knifing a mysterious cloaked figure in the back.
And two other dead ones.
Well, yeah, there's like one cloaked body slaped here, and another one that looks like it's got ice crystals forming all over it. And there's a
Alright.
strange woman on the like sitting on the deck, looking scared.
All right. I'm just gonna step in and beat this person. Worry about details later. All right. Just I'm not even gonna use my spear. I don't know if we're trying to keep these people alive.
Okay, that one misses. The second one, you like you this one person seemed to have like sensed you behind it and just like moved out of the way of that. It was just an involuntary muscle spasm from the pain of Noxie's hit, but that was only with the first hit, and then the second hit just kind of smacks them right in the back.
All right. Bonus action flurry of blows. No.
And that misses. It seems to be
No.
ducking. That's like the first of your blows, basically out of a pain reflex, and then gets caught up in the second one as you smash into their face.
I'm gonna force the deck save.
Feel like a tooth breaking and falling to the ground. It's a bit pointed. Deck save. No, that's a fail. They collapse to the deck, blood streaming from their mouth.
Now just sit there.
And it starts seemingly the tone sounds like curses, but it's in a language you don't recognize.
I don't understand, dumbass. Sit there.
And the woman is like, just
Looking over at Noxie. You explain. I can't ask you. You'd have to write a sign. Dread.
Shrugs.
Dread. What the fuck?
Meanwhile, Tobin.
I think these are bad because they attacked us. I don't know. I think she is an ally if we can talk to her. Point to the mystery woman.
I'm just gonna echo, although in a slightly nicer tone, what Topaz said. I'm gonna ready a frostbite in case he tries to do anything, but I'm just gonna like try and tell him to stay down, basically.
Roll an intimidation check.
Oh, I get to do that at disadvantage. Yay.
Yeah, Devin's got the dark circles under his eyes. He looks like he hasn't slept all night. Because he hasn't. And he sounds like it, too. Is there any action you wish to do, or are you just holding your action until something happens?
I'm gonna hold a frostbite in
Okay.
case he tries to attack anyone.
Okay, in case the
basically.
cloaked figure tries to attack again. Alright. Let's see, cloaked figure glances over towards the mystery woman again. Makes kind of a guttural growling noise, but looks over at Topaz and attempts to attack her. So you get, before it can make a swing, Dovin, you get to launch your frostbite. Alright, Constitution saving throw. Ooh, that time it seemed to bounce right off the cloak as it goes diving for, as it guts onto its feet and starts swinging for Topaz.
Ow.
You can see the grin on its now partly toothless face as it manages to draw blood from you, Topaz. Lebu.
Lobu is going to just a second. Oh, never mind. He's going to move up and he's going to be like, speak into the thing's mind. Hey, man, what? You got to stop. You got to stop. You're clearly beaten.
And
You
you,
need to
hear
just
it
sit
growling, saying, "No, elf. I'm not going to surrender to any elf.
All right.
You
I
will
gave
die,
you
or I will die."
gave you the shot. And I'm going to try and like hit him with the butt of my rapier, if at all possible.
Okay. You're trying to do non-lethal damage?
Yeah.
All right, go for it.
Oh.
And you like go to try to hit him in the head, and he or she they just kind of move their head away at the last moment.
All right, fine. Jerk. And that's my turn.
Dread.
Right, I'll just continue to attack it.
All right, that one misses. Whatever this person is, they are very athletic and manage to dodge many strikes until that last one. You just slash up and you manage to catch them right underneath the chin, opening up the blood vessels, or the veins, arteries, whatnot in their throat, and it quickly spills out, splattering your armor before they collapse to the ground. And that is the end of initiative. There are 2 bodies laying here, and one that is frozen and slowly thawing.
Yeah, I'll sheath my sword and look towards the woman and say,
The
Where
woman
you're-
is rapidly backing up. She's not looking scared of you, Dread, but she is kind of glancing at Lobu and Topaz and giving them fearful looks.
"Where are your friends?"
No, we're not. Who are these people? What the fuck is going on? I leave for 5 minutes and everything goes to hell on deck. Where's Volan?
And uh, at that, you probably hear some heavy snoring coming from your quarters.
For God's sake. All right, start talking, woman.
Topaz.
She like grits her teeth and stares up at you and kind of like holds her arms. She doesn't seem to understand what you're saying, but she's like giving you these fearful looks, Topaz.
Well, then I'll do the normal thing and speak louder and slower. What's your name? What are you doing here?
I start translating.
Okay. At that, when
I'll try Elven just in case she happens to understand that,
she glances,
which probably makes it worse.
She glances more again at Lebu, and just says, "Please, I, 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 I don't. Where am I? Where is this? How did I get here?" And she's saying that in your head, Lebu. She's not speaking out loud.
Look, lady, I don't want to be a jerk or anything, but Topaz is asking you the questions right now, so you should probably listen to her. She does not suffer fools.
She's swallowing hard. She says, Am I your prisoner then? Did you just teleport me out of my lab?
Oh no!
Do you elves have that technology now, or was it some kind of magic?
You just popped into existence here.
What?
Yeah.
And she's like looking around. Then she starts to get this weird expression. And says, "Wait a sec. What is this?" And she's like, she keeps saying things out loud as you're hearing like basically you're getting the gist of what the words she's coming out of her mouth are the same words you're hearing in your head, but a different language. And
what
she's
language
like,
is she speaking? Can we tell?
You guys have no idea what language she's speaking in. It's very weird.
Logan's gonna kind of throw up his hands and be like, "Okay, she's just asking a bunch of questions. She won't say anything at all. I don't know what to do with her. Don't."
Lobo, just reassure her we're on her side at this point.
Ask her if she understands the word keel haul.
Topaz, be kind, please.
Do I recognize like her clothing? Like, does it give any indication of like where or when
Roll a
she's
history
from?
check. No, doesn't look familiar. Doesn't look like any sort of clothing you've seen before.
What?
Mhm.
All right, everybody. What happened that caused them to suddenly appear?
Basically, they look at the mirror, thinking about the doll, and this sprung out. And I just sort of wave my hands at the mess.
Wait, you were using the mirror while thinking of the doll?
I believe that's what happened. I don't remember. Was it it was Fumble that did that, or Noxie? I don't remember.
Cogsworth, I'm sorry, Fumble was holding the mirror. Noxie and Lebu and Dread were dealing with the doll. And one of them held the doll up in front of the mirror.
Why?
Oh, okay.
Why were you doing this?
Well, Dread talked to Sal, and Sal thought it was a good idea. So
Well,
I don't know. I've been thinking a lot. I don't know what's going on. Doesn't seem all that bad.
no.
Okay, well, I mean, first things first, are we going to have to deal with more of these? Are they from one of the groups that we just now found out are possibly a problem?
I pull back the hoods on one of these people to
Roll a nature
what
check,
are
Devin.
Nice.
I think I'm gonna send you a whisper about this because it's more interesting. All right, you look down. You pull back the hood, and you see a humanoid face with somewhat sharpening teeth, and tall ears, a bit more severe than you would expect on an elf. But they look more kind of humanish, except not. They actually remind you a lot more of goblinoid features, except more like a goblinoid humanoid hybrid or something else even more bizarre. It almost looks a bit elven too in that sense. It's like, some kind of weird human elven goblinoid sort of being. And it's weird because you got there's this weird prickle in the back of your head, and it almost feels like instead of some sort of hybrid, like something weird and new, it actually feels like something very old. Like this is something from a long time ago, before there were such a things as goblinoids. Like some kind of proto goblin or proto hobgoblin. You get all that?
Yeah.
Cool.
Sorry, hang on, I'm writing something down.
So as Dovin is standing over the body, gazing at it and looking very intrigued, what are the rest of you doing?
Well, I would say, Lobu, I don't think we're going to get any information from her until she's actually thinks that we're possibly her allies. So if you could try to convey that through your mind to her.
I mean,
She obviously.
okay, Dread, I'll do it, but she's some sort of terrible racist. Just FYI. And then I'll tell the mystery woman, it's okay. We're friends, and we're not going to hurt you.
Since when have elves and fiendkin been friends? Is he your prisoner? And she glances over towards Dovin. Are you making him work for you? Or did you convince her to work for you? Is she looking at Dread when she asks this?
She's still talking in the other language.
Yes. But the mind speak with Lebu. Lebu's getting everything.
Cogsworth is out of commission at the moment.
Yep.
He's just standing there. Is he still holding a mirror?
Yep. Cogsworth Fumble's still holding the mirror.
What? Can we put this away? Before something else comes out of it? He seems to be broken down again.
Well, I think we can leave it for now. These things are fascinating.
Yeah, I am so fucking fascinated. Last thing I thought when I jumped in the water was I really hope some strange people from a different world appear on our ship today so I can stand here and not understand what they say. What the hell is the matter with you?
I mean, you're not wrong, but also, like, I can't tell if this is a goblin or human, and there's, like, it kind of almost looks like an elf, too? But this looks older. This seems like...
Why were they attacking us?
Upon hearing that it is, like, goblin-like, could I take a look at it?
Sure.
Was that history?
History or religion? Pick one.
I'm gonna go with history. They're both the same for me, but...
Alright, 1 second. Let's see. Okay, so you're from, we decided originally you're from, what was it,
Greyland? Yeah.
Yeah. Which is right near the, Argentum Imperium. Hold on, let me get that name right. Pull my map out. The Argentium Imperium, which is Hobgoblin, which is basically ruled by hobgoblins. It's a goblinoid nation. Greylands is not part of that. Greylands is up north across the river, in Telecor. I sometimes can't read my own writing. which is basically kind of evolved out of when the Imperium, when the Argenium Imperium was setting up shop 1,000 years ago. Goblins that didn't want to be part of the the Hobgoblin army, their legions, kind of fled there. But things have cooled off since then, and there's some trade occasionally, and sometimes goblins or other goblinoids will occasionally leave to join the Imperium down south. Uh, your lands have have a lot more goblins than other goblinoids, and it also has things like orcs and other such beings. But you have seen the occasional like weird statue, and you know sometimes the weird exaggerated features on these dead bodies here kind of reminds you of a statue you once saw from basically there was like this embassy in Greyland for the Eugenium, the people that the Legion was attempting to recruit people into the nation, into their nation, saying you are you are a goblinoid. It is your birthright to join in with the Imperium, that sort of stuff. But you remember some of the statues, like of like possibly one of the gods, or maybe some ancient hero of some kind of Hobgoblin worth. Just something that reminded you of this. It's very much in keeping with some of the statuary you saw there.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so they're back.
So then where is it?
So, Noxie, do you still have the doll?
She just tilts her head and shrugs and shakes her head.
It's important. You don't know where it is.
She holds up a sign. I dropped it once the people appeared.
So
Wait. You drop. Why did you have it?
Can I see it anywhere on the ship?
Roll a perception check.
I gotta find my sheet.
Would my passive perception of 17 find it?
Roll a perception check. You're not seeing it out of the corner of your eye, but let's see. Anything more active?
Can someone tell me why did you have it? We had it stashed safely in the bag. I thought.
You guys check everywhere up on the top deck here, and you don't see it anywhere.
Where did you drop it, Noxie?
And she just points right by Cogsworth.
Noxie, we're gonna find it if you took it. Lobu, we're gonna find it if you took it.
If this person is the person that was in the doll, we need to find that out. If it's still talking to you, then she's not the person in the doll.
I won't be mad if you have it.
Lobu Waken
Otherwise-
minds Noxie really quick and is like, you should probably give it up if you've got it. I'll help with Topaz if things go wrong, but like, I think hiding it has been a really bad time.
Noxie won't respond. She'll just kind of look deep in thought for a bit, and then quickly run below deck.
The body over there finishes defrosting and kind of semi-shatters to the deck. The mystery woman is currently standing slowly up and is gently reaching out towards Dread to steady herself.
Oh, if she does, I'll help her.
And she seems to be giving you a polite smile.
I'm gonna get the doll from my hiding place.
For lack of anything better to look at the moment, keeping an eye on the woman, especially when she starts reaching out to touch people.
She's just a bit drawing back every time Topaz looks in her way.
Noxie holds out the doll.
Will you fucking give that up? Why did you have it? That needs to go back in the bag.
It jingles slightly and
Wait.
Noxie, roll a wisdom saving throw.
Ah, cool.
Alright. You start hearing a voice in your head. I will take you on whispers again. Like, what's going on? That was weird. What? Oh, hey! Cass is over there! Cass! Oh, it's been so long. Oh, if I knew she's been missing since I was in that place back in the day. Oh, poor Cassie. Oh,
What happened to her? What's going on? Why is she here?
well, she vanished that day along with the. Oh, that's what happened. Oh, I've been wondering what happened. Oh, the doctor always blamed me for his daughter, thinking that she was dead all this time, and instead she's just here now. Huh?
Oh.
Wow.
Okay.
I was so scared that day. I thought those demi-goblins were gonna had killed a bunch of the other people in the lab, and I thought they were gonna kill her and maybe me. And she was scared, and I was scared. And they just
Demi-goblins?
well, that's how I think of them now. I forget what term she used for them back then. They were kind of engineered for the war, but they eventually made it on their own, and now they're goblins, hobgoblins, bugbear, that sort of thing.
My ancestors?
Oh yes, your ancestors, little mute one.
Okay. I've actually been meaning to talk to you. You said you knew something about night hags?
Oh, but night hags are very dangerous. No. Stay away from night hags. I wouldn't go near them.
Yeah, I'm very aware. Just hags in general are pretty nasty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You seem to know stuff about the others, especially Fumble.
Oh. That poor bard. She had such a lovely voice, and they tried to take it all away from her. It's like someone took it away from you. But you were left alive, though. They didn't leave her alive.
Oh. Okay, how do you know these things? Are you just reading our minds?
Oh, no, I've always known things. It's hard to explain. Lots of things. I know lots of things. It's not always in the right order, though.
Oh, okay.
Please don't put me back in the dark.
I'll stick my neck out for you, I guess.
Thank you, Noxie. Noxie's eyes just kind of went blank for a few moments and seemed to have come back.
Did it talk to you, Noxie?
She nods her head.
Will you let me talk to it, please?
She'll hand you the doll, and she'll also write a sign with an arrow pointing to the mystery woman, and it says Cass.
Cass.
The woman looks up, and she says something, and looks around again, and blinks.
I switched to infernal and speak to her. You understand this language?
Let's see. That's a good question. That's a language that never changed. Let's see if she knows that one.
Yeah, we were talking.
She frowns a bit at you.
Alright, so I look at the doll and say, will you speak to me, please?
Alright. Hello!
So what's going on with this mystery woman here?
Oh, that's Cass. That's yeah, she's the doctor's daughter. The professor's yeah. He got really mad when she disappeared.
So what language is she speaking, you know?
Well, back then it was called Common. It's kind of evolved a lot since then, changed. It's a different language now.
Well, obviously.
It was a long time ago. Very long. I actually don't know quite how long, but it's the old empire.
Huh. I see. So, you think it would help if she'll accept the doll if you could talk to her?
Oh, I think she would get very confused if I talked in her head. I don't
Uh,
think that she's ready to realize. Yeah, no, no, no. Not yet, not yet, not yet. That would be very bad for her, I think. No, no, very bad.
he seems to sort of trust me now, but I wish I could talk to her.
Uh, and it's like there's basically silence for a bit after that. It seems like the whatever's in the doll is thinking very hard.
Okay.
And Topaz, you've just been watching like Noxie hold the doll and go blank, and then hand the doll over to Dread, and Dread go blank for a minute.
Can we please stop doing that?
Well, yeah,
It's
that's
like
the only.
passing around a contagious disease. Just
I'm
stop.
I'm immune to disease, Topaz.
You don't know. You know what I fucking mean. Let's put it back in the bag. Can we put it back in the bag, please?
No, I think it's our ally, Topaz. It's not harmful.
Of course you say that. You're holding the doll. It's probably taking over your mind, just like it did Lobu and Noxie.
Noxie's gonna hold up a sign. If the paladin says it's good, it's good.
Exactly.
Noxie, did you know this lady's name?
It's Cass.
Again, the woman
Noxie
looks
holds up
up
a sign.
and is like tapping Dread on the shoulder, and she's just kind of giving a look and again saying something that you don't understand.
He's speaking
Doll
common.
told me.
He's actually speaking the common of their time. That's what she's doing.
Well, does anyone want to translate through me to her? Because personally, I'm fed up with her. She's got some real backwards ideas about elves and tieflings, to be honest, too. So I
Okay.
don't know.
Oh,
Well, I can partake in this, and I'm going to go ahead and
Okay.
start casting comprehend languages.
So as far as we know, they jumped out when you dicked around with the mirror and trying to find information on the doll, and that's when they appeared here and attacked people, right? So they have something to do with the mirror, I think. Am I
Sorry.
okay so far? Just trying to understand.
I'm
I'm,
not 100% sure what happened there either, Topaz. That's the only thing that's confusing me.
Well, Dovin seemed to think it had some kind of there was magic brought on by using the mirror.
Yes. It wouldn't have-
the
Nox-
mirror is, from what I know about that mirror, this was some weird loop or hole or something. Like, that mirror should not do that. We should not use that mirror on the doll.
Noxie's gonna hold up a sign in Goblin to Mr. Uma. Do you understand this?
She just kind of stares blankly at it.
Worth a shot.
Yeah. In a second, when I'm done casting comprehend languages, I'm gonna try a couple more.
All right.
Well, if we keep screwing around with relics and shit, we're our own worst enemies. We're doing ourselves no favors. We've already got at least 3 different groups of villainous, nefarious figures with their plottings to take over the world. And we're trying to make it back in one piece, hopefully, to Saltmarsh and let the counselors there know what's going on. Oh, and by the way, fight a war against the Sahagin while we're at it. So can we please not dick around with the relics on the ship so we sink ourselves or blow ourselves up or all get taken over by evil entities in our head until we get these back where the other people can look at them and tell us what they do? Is that even a conceivable concept for you?
I know what the doll is. Topaz. It's someone locked in. It's not really a doll. It's a person locked in this form.
Well, this sucks to be them, but that still is no excuse to be messing around with.
Trying to help her, it's a very valid excuse.
Can you wait till we get back on shore?
If we don't have to put the doll in the bag, if we can treat it with respect.
You want to treat the doll? Okay.
I want to treat the person that is the doll with respect. Yes.
I don't even. Okay. Well, as was made very clear to me the last time I had anything to say, not your decision to make, Volan's decision to make. She's the captain. Until she's out here to actually say what we do with the doll, I guess you have free reign of it. But that's not a final decision.
No, I agree.
Volan holds up. Noxie holds up a sign. Volan's asleep, so first mate's in charge.
Until she wakes up, Noxie.
Noxie nods.
And then she can veto your decision if she thinks she needs to.
Noxie just kind of shrugs.
Are we doing anything with these bodies? Can we pitch them?
As far as I'm
Stuff on him?
I don't mean to be overly gruesome, but we should put one of them in the bag of holding.
Why?
Because this thing is thousands of years old. Like, from thousands at least years ago. Like, we have no record of something like this.
I get you, Dovin. Let me take it from here. I think what Dovin's trying to say is that he wants to sell these bodies to a museum. Make a lot of extra
Well,
scratch.
Oh my god.
that's an
if it was that pragmatic, I might be for it. I think it's just he wants a cave goblin to put on display somewhere for the scholars to go and study it. To determine, I don't know what the fucking goblins did 1,000 years ago, like we care.
I
Meanwhile,
care.
what do we do with mystery woman over here?
Noxie
We'll
holds up
talk
a
to
sign.
her.
Noxie holds up a sign. There are kind of statues resembled proto goblins in my hometown.
The hell even is a proto goblin? What does that even mean?
Well, actually, demi goblins. She corrects.
That's no better.
As you guys are still discussing this, Dovin, your comprehend languages comes into effect.
Okay. So, Lobu, I'm still gonna need you to do some translating for me, but I'll be able to understand what she says.
Cool. That works.
So I'm gonna walk up to her, and I'm just gonna wave hello, give her a charming old smile, and I say Cass, and then I point to myself and say Dovin, and then I say, "Are you okay?"
And I'm gonna take it. Lebu is going to translate everything into her mind, and Dovin will then translate everything she says to the group.
Yes.
Okay. So she looks back at Dovin. She glances at Lebu for a moment, but looks at Dovin and says, "Cassandra, actually.
Cassandra.
Dr. Cassandra. Dr. Cassandra Cole. Where am I? Is that's magic you're using, yes?"
It is. It allows me to understand your language, but unfortunately, it doesn't
How
let me speak.
you're human. How do you not speak my language? I thought all the rest of I thought all the humans lived in the Empire.
Okay. So
1,000 years ago,
What
weren't
year
all
is
the
it?
humans living in caves too with the goblins?
we'll get to that, Topaz. What year is it?
No. And she basically does say a year, but has no bearing on
Oh,
any
Jesus.
layer that you've read. You've even with your history knowledge, you've even read some pre-Sundering years you've heard of. This is not them either. Whatever year
Wow.
she's saying is even prior to the Sundering, which was over 6,000 years ago.
Oh. Um, Yikes. So, okay. Real moment. Cassandra, that date means nothing to me. Uh, you are at least ballpark 7,000 years in the future.
Seventh. She kind of stares around, and then she relaxes. I guess the war's been over a long time then. I guess the Empire's gone. I guess they won. She glances at Libu and Topaz.
Um, well, there's been a lot of wars. Uh, what
Why she keep
empire?
looking at us?
Well, I point to Lobu and Topaz and I say, they're my friends. We're all friends.
Other, other than the Dark Elves, I've never met an actual elf before. Never heard of elves and humans being friends, other than.
It's not too uncommon these days. It's a little
I suppose that's a good
odd, but
thing.
it's not. Yeah. What empire?
Yeah, sometimes they even get together and make half elves. Scandalous.
By the way, is anybody translating what Topaz is saying, or it's Lebu keeping that to himself?
Normally, Lobu keeps most of Topaz's stuff like under wraps. Everything is going through at this point because he's like on board with that.
Okay, so Cassandra just kind of stares and wow, never thought I'd be in a time when that was the case. This changes a lot.
She's probably got a horrified look on her face.
It's more not a horrified look, more of a very confused look.
Is it
I'll,
curious?
I push it. Oh yeah, wild parties. Tons of us, elves and humans, all sweaty, heaving piles together.
She
Happens all
actually
the time.
stifles a laugh at that point.
Moxie just glances
Well,
at the entrance to Volan's room.
if the war is long over, then I suppose that's the case. People do change over time. But I guess the Empire is long gone. The Alliance won out, and
Have you asked her what she was doing at the moment when she suddenly got transported here?
You know what? We're getting there. After we're done talking about the giant orgies.
Yeah, that's more important.
So, couple of questions. Basically, how did you get here? What were you doing? Why were these men attacking you? And
I was in my lab with the rest of the team. We were testing. T- Hold on one second. I have to go over my notes 1 second. We were running some tests, and the those assassins came in and started killing my lab mates.
Did she say assassins? Does she mean these guys?
If you're translating for Topaz, then she starts nodding. Yeah. Not sure who was paying them or why. I guess some people were jealous of our work, my father's work, and what they were had objections to what we were doing in the lab. But the future, oh God, it's. Oh. Father must have been so upset, and I can't imagine what would have what happened with my little brother. Oh, She kind of starts slump. She slumps back down to the ground, and kind of buries her head in her hands.
Give her a pat on the shoulder. I know there's a lot to take in.
Place my hand on her shoulder as well.
Oh, can I come over and put my hand on her shoulder too?
Sure.
Noxie will put her hand on her shoulder.
Lobu starts checking corpses.
So I'll make a
while-
shoulder daisy chain. Here, look, I'll even touch Cogsworth, so in spirit, you can be part of it too. I mean, we all know how this goes, right? I've heard the old wives' tales. The person from way in the past comes into the future, and they end up being a hero because they know how to do things that nobody in the future knows how to do.
Wasn't usually the other way around.
No, you haven't been paying attention to the fairy tales. That's always how it goes.
Oh. I'll have to hear these fairy tales sometime.
So let's see, Dovin.
Are we under sail?
Yeah, you're still sailing towards
I'm
Orin.
gonna go navigate. I go back. I can't even take this anymore. Kill myself.
Alright, so
I'm gonna go up on deck and I'm gonna be taking care of the navigation, getting us back towards Saltmarsh, or where were we going? The other
Orin.
place. Orin, yes.
To turn in that that one quest and possibly find
Right.
more information about dealing with that doll.
yeah.
I'll pull my hair out if I gotta listen to any more of this. I go navigate.
The woman is crying. Cassandra is crying softly, and she's just wiping at her eyes. I don't know how they fared back then without me.
Alright,
Yes,
so
yes.
we're getting this translated.
I guess father thought we were all dead or something, and I don't know what happened to the rest of the lab, and but I guess they're long dead then.
I'm going
Yeah.
to assist Lobu with checking these bodies.
Actually, DM, can we do it the other way around?
What? Whichever one of you wants to roll investigation advantage, go ahead.
Alright, you want me to make the roll then?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're better at it if memory serves.
Noxie has a +8. Yeah, you find 3 swords with bloodstains on them. 3 robes, though they're kind of torn up, and one of them's half frozen, though it's thawing out and getting very damp. Not much else of interest on them.
Noxie just looks the swords over.
They're some fine craftsmanship, though.
She holds up a sign. These are probably artifacts.
They,
Let's put them in front of. Yeah.
they're
So-
both insanely valuable and also completely not.
Helpful.
They're artifacts and they're not artifacts.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
So, Dovin, ask her what she would wants us to do now. What she would like to do now.
Yeah, Lobu will ask Cassandra.
Yeah. I guess that's true.
It's a weird translation situation.
Yeah.
Also, how old does she look?
Let's see. Trying to remember for 1 second. She doesn't look more than 30, and she looks no younger than early 20s.
Okay. I'm sorry. Before you said, well, so, what do you want? Did you hear Dread's question?
Sorry. So you translate, everybody, you guys did the translate ring. I'm sorry. So I'm going back to responding as if everybody's translating back and forth. So she kind of looks at the group of you and says, I don't know anything about the world now, especially since I apparently don't speak the same language. Uh, uh, what have how you don't even know how long ago the empire fell. Is no artifacts from Valadar even survived?
Valador, does that name ring a bell?
Valadar. Roll a history check.
Well, it's a good thing we got a guy who loves history.
I'm exhausted though. Dang.
Oh,
Yeah, it does not ring a bell.
Maybe another time. Well, we can certainly, when we get to a city, we can look in a library, ask around. But yeah, I don't even know the name of that empire. So
We'll help her as much. I'll offer to help her as much as I can. 'Cause
She smiles. She smiles a bit at Dread.
I don't know how Topaz will react to that, but I'll offer to help anyway.
So
Thank
Moxie will
you.
show a sign to Lobu for translation. It's a good thing that Dovin's a nerd.
yeah, and in tune with that, I'm gonna tell her that I'll teach her common to best of my ability while she's on the ship. And I was gonna ask something else. Oh, what was she researching? I missed it.
She didn't specify. She just said she was working in her lab, running some
Oh,
tests.
yeah. I'll ask her what she was researching.
Well, wasn't exactly research. We're running tests on Project 86, seeing how it was holding up and everything.
Project 1 through 85 weren't good enough.
Oh no, there are other projects. Plenty of others. Some of them had even gotten into the field by then. We hadn't actually gotten a chance to field test 86's capabilities yet. But
Is this a
I mean, I
weapon of
did
some sort?
well to my father. Yes, the 86 was a weapon. Was a weapon. Um, sorry, I'm not good with trying to remember my tenses here. This was a very long time ago. No, 86. We just didn't know what sort of capabilities it would have when it matured. And well, I kind of snuck it out of the lab a few times. I mean, 'cause it was not like it looked like a child ever, but it kind of reminded me of a child sometimes. And well, like my little brother. Red. We're gonna see red again. She more tears come to her eyes.
Mm,
did we show her the doll? Did she see the lady? Did you see that doll?
The doll that is Dread still holding the doll?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she kind of looks at the doll in interest and says, "That looks nice."
Also, this has nothing to do with 86. Then.
I don't know. It looks reminds me of a court of a court jester, something you'd see in a circus, maybe a clown. It's, those colors are neat.
Have her talk to it.
She,
Oh, no.
she doesn't. The person in the doll doesn't think it's a good idea right now until she gets more.
That wasn't Moxie, that was Liam the player.
Well, maybe we should set the Cassandra up with a room with a sturdy lock, and
No,
Yeah.
no, we don't want to lock her in.
I mean, she can sleep in my room. I don't mind sleeping under the stars.
I don't mind either.
Does she look like she's capable of doing us any harm?
Let's see. Roll a perception check. You don't see any weapons on her, and she's not armored.
Anybody using this from down here?
Let's see. That Strud's room. I don't know if anybody's in that room. Because Libu's over here. Oh, that's right. I think Cogsworth and Well, Cogsworth and Fumble can be anywhere. So yeah. Yeah, I don't think anybody's in that room right now.
We could
Yeah,
put
they're
her
trying
in
to
the.
sleep forever.
We could put her in the room near me, I suppose.
Okay. Well, she probably needs some rest.
Alright.
Dread, I hope you attach that dial to your forehead. The damn thing doesn't get stolen again. Just saying.
I just sort of scratch my head. What a bizarre turn of events.
Alright, so for the chain, I tell her we have a room that she can sleep in downstairs.
Could I, hypothetically, still talk to the doll while it's on Dread's head?
If you're close enough, yeah.
I do need to ask it a crucial question. So,
Do you want the others to hear?
No.
Oh,
All right.
What I want to ask her is, do you know where the hag that took my voice is?
That's a good question. She is here on this world, though she did not take it directly. She gave out objects that would do it for her and pay for voices of the innocent.
Oh? Okay, so what does that mean?
She did not target you specifically, someone else did. Is it her you wish to get back at, or someone else? That is the question.
I just wish to get my voice back, if that's possible.
It's entirely possible. You might need to trade something else with the hag if she still has your voice. And if not, buy a new voice. Or you can wish for a new voice. There are many ways to go about it. But if you
Okay.
find the hag, and she has your voice specifically, then yes.
Alright, do you know her name?
That's a good question. No, I don't know everything. I'm not omniscient.
Okay, well, thanks.
But I do see seas and rocks and scary things with wings and mists and pirate ships and ancient dragons.
Sounds like what we've been doing for the last couple of weeks.
So you're
Alright.
close. Yes.
Alright, thank you.
No worries, my friend. No worries.
Noxie just looks deep in thought.
yeah.
Are you okay, Noxie?
She takes a while to like acknowledge you talking to her, and then she like looks up at you and like nods.
Does she really seem okay, or should I roll insight?
That's up to you. That's what insight's for.
Okay, I'll just roll insight.
Yeah.
Noxie?
Yeah, she just seems deep in thought. Like she's not Like it seems like a lot serious, like something serious has just come across her mind.
Okay. Give it a pat on the head.
She flinches, but not as much as she usually does because you're Dovin.
Okay. Well, I will be happy to start teaching Cassandra history and language, but I need my damn sleep. So
Yeah.
I guess it's gonna have to wait until tomorrow.
So I guess we would say that through the voice or the communication chain, and I'll show her where her room is downstairs.
Oh,
It's first thing in the morning, by the way, guys.
yeah.
Oh,
You all just finished a long rest, except for poor Dovin, who spent the entire night thinking.
Yeah, tossing and turning about this whole thing, and it turned out to explode. Great. Should we should probably put the mirror back in the bag.
Yeah,
Unless we think that's gonna make her disappear.
I don't think it will.
I give her just like a poke just to make sure she's real.
She
And
she,
Uh,
she blinks.
well- Well, I guess technically she'd have to feel
Why
real
are
because
you-
I actually helped her up.
Poking me.
Just a joke, I say. And then I put the mirror back in the bag. Is she still there?
Yeah, she's still there.
Okay. And
And so are the bodies.
yeah, so I ask for a little help getting one of the bodies into the bag of holding.
I'll give you a hand, you old capitalist so and so. This is a smart plan, by the way.
Does she seem to think she needs rest, or is she?
She looks mentally exhausted, if nothing else.
All right.
Should we? I'm gonna bring some down to feed Squish.
Well, I hope there's no ancient viruses, ancient bacteria that will just kill it.
Alright, so Libu, as you get down to the hole, to the bilge where Squish is, you notice that all of the dragon meat and parts that you left down there are now covered in thick coatings of mushroom.
Oh hell, Squish.
Squish looks up and kind of makes a happy noise upon seeing the body you're carrying.
Oh man, I'm gonna give this to you, but only because I don't want to take it all the way back up the stairs. You gotta not look, Squish. I talked to him through the mind thing. I'm like, buddy, don't start a new family down here. We don't have enough meat.
But more will come.
Squish. I'm gonna talk to Fumble about this later. And then I'm gonna translate for you. I don't know. Oh man, this is a real mess. Oh good lord. Can I tell how long it will take for them to turn into veggie pygmies?
Roll a nature check.
Oh god.
You have no idea. You don't know if it'll become veggie pygmies or not. All you know is that the bodies are now covered in fungal growths. Or that the body that's in pieces is now covered in fungal growths.
I'm gonna go immediately to Dovin and I'm gonna be like, buddy, look, I'm sorry, I know you're tired and you have had a big day and I hate to put another thing on your plate, but I think Squish is reproducing in the bilge.
Dolan just kind of puts his hand to his face and just face palms very slowly, and just okay.
You want
Let
to?
me look.
All right.
Our boat's gonna become a dungeon that other player characters are gonna come in and raid.
We're the new spider ship, except it's a fungus ship.
Sometimes it happens that way, guys. Sometimes it happens that way.
The legend of the ball leader. Okay, what am I looking at? Nature check.
And our ship is the Stormy Jack. The leader's critical role.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I told you I'm tired. Getting my shit mixed up.
Well, they both have a half-orc captain, so.
Yeah, basically. Okay. What am I looking at? Not much more than that.
Yeah, you're so tired. It's like you see the growths on the bits of dragon meat that's kind of still recognizable there, and it's just really hard to tell if those are going to be new Vegapygmies or if they're just you know big big mushroom piles.
Um, well, something's growing. I can maybe do something about this tomorrow. Oh,
All right.
boy.
I think I'm gonna stay down here and watch and make sure nothing extremely strange happens until we get back to Orin.
Probably a good idea.
Uh,
Yeah. How
Well-
long how
Not
long is our trip to Orange supposed to take?
not long, probably another hour or two.
Oh.
Lobu,
Soon.
have you met us yet? There's nothing here on this ship that's not strange, is there?
It's true, but this is, I don't know, man. It's kind of taking the cake. We've got a whole ecosystem down here now.
All the bilge water isn't helping.
Oh god, you're building mushrooms down there. Oh.
Well, you left food in you left meat in a Vegapygmy down in the bilge. Of course, mushrooms are gonna grow.
Why is this thing on our ship? I feel like I didn't process that. Okay.
Yeah, we should have vetoed that maybe.
There are too many other things going on. Alright. I'm gonna go make sure like Cass is at least remotely getting settled.
Noxie shows you a sign note.
Mhm.
It says, "I'm sorry for stealing and lying."
I would actually want to make sure she's settled in as well.
I appreciate the apology, Noxie. This was very complicated. I need more time to think about it. But thank you. I give her another pat on the head.
After that, she goes into her room to sit upon her ginormous hoard.
Bloxy, secretly a dragon.
Yeah. Once I'm done making sure she's in there asleep, I'll put the doll on this desk.
She's not really asleep. She's more like she's sitting on the bed, kind of knees up and curled around it and crying softly.
Yeah,
I'll walk in and just give her a reassuring pat on the shoulder.
And she gives you a light smile, but doesn't really look up.
Once the doll's on the desk, I'll come back up here and just watch.
All right. Anybody have anything they wish to do before they make it into Orin?
No.
No, I think I'm good.
All right. Okay. Alrighty then. You still have plenty of supplies on the ship, and you find yourselves making it into the port. Still looks pretty crowded here. Plenty of ships coming along. This time you have no need to dock in the repair bays because your ship is fine. There's a bunch of regular docks. And I imagine you're going to be steering into one of those, correct?
Yes.
Alright. You go in. They charge a docking fee of about 5 gold. And you're allowed to move on your way. So whoever's in charge of party funds, please subtract that.
I get it. 5 gold is so much. We've only got 3,508 more gold, plus all the other coins.
Alright. So Volan has elected to remain on board the ship, partly to keep an eye on Cogsworth/Fumble, making sure the Warforged is okay. But what would the rest of you like to do?
Well, we gotta return this box, right?
That is true. Oops. So guys, there we go.
Go ahead.
No, I was just cleaning up the old tokens.
Oh, okay. Is there anything else on our list of things to do for Aaron?
You said you wanted to. Well, that's actually on you. You guys get to decide what you want to do.
Let's see. I have to meet up with Random, see what that's about, and then
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
also talked about.
Promise 2 hours of your time with Random.
All right.
But then we also talked about maybe he'd have a good lead on someone that could give us more advice on this doll issue.
Oh, yeah, we need to find a wizard. That's what we need to find. One that knows a lot of magic.
Yeah. I guess let's get this box thing over with, and then we can spend 2 hours with Random.
2 hours is Random. That's only for Lubu. And possibly
Okay.
Topaz if Topaz wants to come along too, but pretty much
Oh, yeah, we should.
he really wanted to spend some time with a sea elf.
Yeah, we want to see what these items are and what they do.
Oh yeah, we got a shit ton of stuff to sell.
Oh, and the dragon
Okay.
parts, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we'll start working away. Let's drop off this box first. Any issues with doing that first?
Works for me.
So who are we to take this to? I guess
Battalion is. It says,
Yeah.
well, we're going to meet Abric's butler, who should still be in town. Abric himself might be here. The butler is okay. I hate when I lose a name here. His butler, Vertheg, should be contactable. Who wants to come along with me? We don't all have to go together unless you really want to.
I wouldn't mind coming along.
Uh,
This guy's like some sort of snooty noble fellow, right?
Yeah, but ever since the Emperor of Waves went down, he's been losing a bit of money, from what I hear. I mean, he needs the documentation that's in that he taps to the side of the container that you guys have been carrying. He needs what's in here.
um, I guess we might as well all go, right?
Might as well.
So let's go.
All right, so Thalia, pretty much takes you to what looks like a rather decent house, here in Orin. Looks like the sort of area in the city where snooty nobles live, or at least have a second home in. Uh, this house isn't quite as nice as some of the surrounding ones. It does have about 3 floors worth of real estate here, but the upkeep seems to be it's not horrible, but it also looks like maybe it could use some extra paint, maybe some residing, and then it's like maybe some weeks or maybe a month or two out of date, not like the places that you've seen where it's been years since any kind of maintenance has been done. uh, and there's there's a gate, a few trees that look like they're growing a little bit. um, you know how professional gardeners prune back this and prune back that. Well, this looks like it also hasn't seen the touch of a professional gardener in a while either. But things are still growing. Still nice, somebody with money, but who either hasn't had the time to maintain things, or has been low on unusable funds. All right, so Thalia kind of leads you guys to the front gate, and let's see, what's the thing in there? And well, it's kind of closed and everything like that. So he looks around the side of it and kind of waves his hands over a nicely designed little ruin. Says, and looks back at you and says, "Well, hopefully that is some kind of way of signaling anybody up at the house that there's guests that have arrived." And he kind of waits like 2 minutes before finally a half orc comes walking out the door, kind of dressed in a decent suit, and well, he's tall and lanky, and there only seems to have like one tusk jutting out from his lower jaw. Uh, his kind of skin, as he gets closer, you can tell contrasts a lot with his finery. And he kind of has his arms at his back and is looking out the gate at you guys. Yes.
We've got something of interest for you.
Oh. For me or for Master Orbrick?
I suppose for your master, actually.
And what would that be?
A box.
At that, his expression changes a bit, and he kind of moves his face side to side and seems to be rubbing the tusk against his cheek. Really? Well, you claim to have the box. Well, we shall see. And he kind of opens up the gate. But do be warned, if you are wasting Master Orbrick's time, things will not be pleasant for any of you.
Careful
I-
on the threads.
Can I look around with that and try and see if there are any breaks in the security, basically? just for later.
Sure.
Just in
Roll an
case.
investigation. He turns around and like waves you guys forward and starts heading up. And Lobu, it looks pretty well defended. It's got a nice gate here. I mean, yeah, maybe you could scale it, or probably more likely, Topaz can just jump over it, or Noxie could scramble up the side of it. Because those two are really good at that sort of thing. But if you were just out there casing the joint on your own, you think you probably couldn't get in. But he leads you up to the house. And just kind of like, opens up the door and just stands aside waiting for you to pass. The foyer is a bit dark. It's slightly drafty. But you can see a light in a room down the hall. Thalia just kind of decides to lead the way and goes right past the butler. And, since he's carrying the box, probably with Topaz, since it's a two-person job.
Sure.
So he's kind of leading and she's carrying the box with her. Starts, heading in as the butler brings up the rear, and comes into into what looks like a nice a sitting room. It looks like it was nice a while ago, but there's a bit more dust than one would expect in a nice home. And you see a man. His clothes look like they're a bit out of date, maybe a year or two out of date. His hair is iron gray and pulled back in a short ponytail, and he has a mustache. That one's actually fairly neatly tended. He kind of looks up from a book he was reading, and says, "Oh, Rurthag, we do have guests." And then he kind of stares at what Thalia and Topaz have between them. It's like, "Oh. Yes, master, they claim they have brought you something. A box. I imagine the box. Oh, well, let me see. Set it down. Set it down here on the floor."
Clunk.
And Thalia lets go on his end as well. And kind of like waves you guys back as he moves over and presses his hands to it. The sigil on the outside of it lights up at that point, and the expression on his face is one of joy and relief, as if he's been waiting for a while for something, and now it's finally what he wants is here. And as the box opens, you see all sorts of what looks like various pieces of paper and notes and all that, and he lets out a long sigh of relief and closes his eyes and says, "Oh, so finally, I thought these were lost forever." He looks over at his butler and says, "Well, it looks like we'll be able to get to the bank today and be able to pay these fine, outstanding salvagers." And the half-orc kind of nods, and the man just closes the box up again.
We understood that there might be some payment involved with this. I was
Yes,
wondering exactly what you were thinking.
10% of what this is worth, and he pats the box. Well, as soon as we get it into the bank and make sure it's safe, I'll be able to withdraw the funds because I will be able to cover them once again. And he gestures, and the half-orc comes forward, and even though he's a bit tall and awkward, he still manages to lift up the box. "Well, come along. I imagine you want your money as soon as possible, so why don't you come along with me to the bank?"
All right.
And he has the butler just kind of comes along with the crate, and he is a bit more merrily skipping along than what you would expect from a man in his dire condition. And like eventually, leads you not away from his homestead, away from the snooty and money-driven sector. Well, the people with money who live there sector to a another section of the city quite nearby, uh, where a fine bank stands, and it is listed outside as the First Bank of Oran. Would all of you like to go in, or just him?
Should all go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you step inside, and there's tall marble columns and fine pillars and various tellers up at the up front. And what's interesting is that several of the tellers here appear to be Kenku. Like they're just standing back, getting money out, like biting it with their beaks, and then passing it along. And he just kind of like leads you guys in. First time in the bank?
Yeah. Do people not just carry all their money around with them all the time?
Oh no, no! That's a terrible way to do business. It can easily be stolen, or and in a bank, it's even possible to earn a little money sometimes from storing it here. It, if you put it into a certain type of savings plan, uh, they can then use that money to loan it out, and they will give you a percentage of the interest they make from that.
Lobu shudders slightly, and then he's like, "So you're telling me all the rich people in this town have all their money in this building?"
Well, I imagine plenty of them do, and others will, of course, not trust the bank and store their money in their houses where it can be easily stolen by brigands. But, the bank is fairly secured.
Noxie immediately looks around. Is it secure?
Roll an investigation check. You look around and you see the occasional looks like standard city guards in their fin helmets, standing at various places along the vestibule. Uh, Hold on, I think I said the wrong word. Along the hall, and it's like you could see like they're carefully watching the people as they come through. City guards aren't messing around when it comes to this place. So our brick kind of directs his butler towards a side space, and apparently talking to somebody that he knows, like saying, yes, my my deeds and everything have finally been recovered. It is such a good day, and I'd like to get these down in my vault, and I would like a sum of 10,000 gold transferred up so I can pay my recoverers.
It's considerable.
And Thalia's eyes kind of go wide, and he grins wide, and he smiles at the group of you. It's like, well, it was my lucky day when you guys decided that I should come with you. Huh?
Yeah, I'm glad we met you in a bar, man.
Yeah. And he reaches over and pats Lobu on the head. Just like, big Goliath. Lobu just pats you right on the head like you're a small child.
Am I? Do I remember how much cut he's taking?
I imagine there's some sort of percentage in there, but I think at this point he's probably considering, you split it evenly with, between everybody in the group. Maybe siphon a little off for the crew if you like, but since but he seems
I
to
look
think
up.
that he's one of you guys.
Yeah, I look up at him. I'm like, Thalia, I'm really glad you're sticking on with us. I mean, you are doing that, right?
Yeah. I got no reason to leave. It's starting to get interesting. And my sea legs aren't quite as bad as I thought.
Well, if you ever need any money from that out of the party treasure, you just let Dovin know.
I might just take you up on that. Get some new equipment and everything.
Noxie's just like looking at Lobu like, what the fuck are you doing?
I I awaken mind over to Noxie, and I'm gonna be like, look, man, he's probably not gonna live forever, and he's leaving all of his money with us.
What? Are you planning to murder him? What's going on?
No, but like you saw him in that fight. It's pretty bad.
So you just think he's just going to die? Like, eventually?
Well, I'm not gonna try and get him killed or anything, but he's clearly out of his depth.
Alright, I guess. Seems kind of dark to me.
After a few minutes, the person that Albrecht had been talking to and the butler, come back after apparently taking the box away, and the butler comes over with with a large bag, and inside are let's see, the equivalent of 10,000 gold in platinum pieces, which is 1,000 platinum pieces.
You're breaking up. Can't hear you.
Sorry. 1,000 platinum pieces, which is of course
Holy
Worth-
fuck. Okay, sorry.
which is worth of course 10,000 gold.
We're like rich.
I've been thinking about this. We should upgrade the ship. I think we should have like an herb garden for the metal man. Dovin could have a little library.
Not sure there's enough space in that ship, Dahlia interjects. Might have to
You
buy a new ship or something, maybe. Of course, you'll
Harder on fleet.
need to buy to hire more than just 6 hands. You guys are barely scraping by with that few amount of people in the first place.
do you think pygmies could be good sailors?
I don't think so. They may not be able to see over the steering wheel or whatever it's called. Also, they probably couldn't lift the sails.
Yeah, Cecilia. And from what I could tell, they don't like sunlight either.
Night shift.
Well, there is that.
I still think we should have a ram.
Ram's not a bad idea. They'd be like a skeleton crew, but a veggie crew.
Well, maybe we should get a catapult and we can start catapulting them at other ships.
A good way to get rid of them.
Okay, this is like the trivial debate, isn't it? Just gonna start flinging them at the equivalent of Klingons.
Yeah.
It's the perfect solution.
Well, this is a lot. And this is only 10% of what the box is worth, so.
We still have to sell all those dragon parts too.
Are they still sellable?
The teeth and the claws and things.
Right, the
Yeah,
stuff we have in the bag.
yeah. You sadly lost all of your meat because you left it in the same space as a veggie pygmy, and the veggie pygmy went and spored it all.
Well, anyways, yeah, so we got some stuff to sell.
And some stuff to identify.
Yeah. Well, we could identify it by taking a short rest with it. Um, okay, so we got the rings with redstone ×2. We've got a nice tapestry. We've got a nice cage, a bird cage. We've got the animal figurine. Did Fumble want to hang on to the animal figurines?
I believe she did.
Okay, so we want to sell those.
In
We
fact, I
have
think
bronze.
I thought she had like some in her inventory, but I'm not sure.
Okay. I'll just leave them in there. We should check to see if the bronze crown is magic. Although I think we did a detect magic on all this and it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then we've got the bronze crown to sell. Then we've got a silver bracelet with a twisted tongue. We said it's 75 gold. A gemmed belt for 400 gold.
I also wouldn't mind selling that spooky bracelet that I gave you, Dovin.
Are you sure?
I mean, it's pretty cool, but at the same time, I don't know. It's it's a lot. It's a lot to handle.
Oh, right. What did it do again?
Like paralyzes people. It's just like a good magical item, but I think Lobu's a little spooked out by it.
Oh, I mean, it's yours if you want to get rid of it.
Hmm.
I
Maybe
mean,
I'll take it.
if it's only as spooky and as bad as you let it be, in a sense.
That's true. Maybe you hold on to it for a little longer.
Sure, not a problem. Okay, so
Did we
we
split
also
the money, or are we just putting it in party treasure?
I figured we could just put in the party treasure, and if you want to take out any, you're more than welcome to.
I think it
Um,
might not actually be a bad idea to consider getting a bigger ship.
yeah, we could do a bigger ship, or we could do 2 ships.
Ooh, a fleet.
Yeah.
Talia kind of again looks at you guys and says, "Don't forget, you're gonna need money to pay the crew and everything. 2 ships, 2 crews."
It's an investment into the future. Maybe.
He nods a bit.
Okay. So let's go someplace to sell this stuff. So how much should we get for
Well, unless you feel like role playing out the interactions, for the items you found in the dragon's treasury, the dragon
Mhm.
hoard, with the exception of the magical items, each of those items is worth 250 gold each.
each? Okay.
So each ring, each necklace, that box with the figurines. As I said, I believe Fumble has that. The crown, I think that's what, because there was like bunch of items in there, and it was worth 250 gold each. So it's like you can just sell them for at that set price. You can try to find somebody to negotiate with these. You can keep them for yourself. What you do with them is up to you.
Does somebody want to do negotiations?
I would love to.
All right.
Excuse me, sir. Have you heard of the crew of the Stormy Jack?
The random person you stopped on the street, just some man in finery, just kind of stares at you for a moment. What would you like to? What sort of thing would you like to do with him? Are you just going to use persuasion, or are you going to cast something other than enhance ability?
Just enhanceability and then persuasion.
All right.
So it should be an advantage.
You get it's all charisma
Oh,
checks.
good God. So he kind of looks around and says, "You know, I haven't. I take it you are part of this crew?"
But a lesser member amongst a party of great heroes. But
Ah.
you'll hear about us soon enough.
Well, I suppose I'd look forward to that. Why are you stopping me? He has this kind of confuzzled look on his face.
Well, I had originally intended on negotiating a better rate for the things that we bought, but then I missed that opportunity. So now we're just talking, you and me, mano y mano.
All right. He tries to give you a smile, but he's starting to look a little weirded out.
Where do you know any good wizards around here? Anyone who knows a lot of stuff?
Wizards. Oh, you need help with a wizard. Well, there's always the college, the mage school in town, the Obsidian Hall. I imagine you can find plenty of wizards there.
Who's the best one?
Oh, I'm not a wizard myself, or I'd be able to answer that question. I'm afraid I don't know.
All right, thanks, buddy. You just remember, Stormy Jack.
You're welcome.
And then walks out.
Stormy Jack, got it.
Are we negotiating for better prices on these items, or are we just gonna go to the wizard? The wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, do we have an opportunity to try and get a couple?
That's up to you guys.
Squeeze a couple coin out.
Yeah, I said you can certainly try. Where would you like to go to try? Would you like to go to one of the places you've already been? Places like Copper for More or Ruins and such.
Copper for More seems like the best place we could go to sell this stuff, but if I'm remembering correctly, the owner of Copper for More hates our guts.
Yeah, you would not be able to roll with persuasion with advantage. It would just be a straight roll because you have advantage, but technically with her you'd have disadvantage. So
I could go in disguise as the snooty maitre d' from the hotel.
I like
I like it too.
Yeah,
Right.
so I'll like waltz in there and
So first roll me a deception check.
should still be with advantage because of actor. Oops, I don't know why it went twice, but same result.
She's eyeing you dubiously. Can I help you?
Just came in today to.
She forces a smile on her face.
The restaurant came across some items that we thought you might want to resell. Just little trinkets, you understand.
Does it? Just giving you a narrowed, suspicious look. It doesn't look like you'll have advantage on these persuasion checks. She's suspicious of you. But
what if I also use friends?
Oh, go for it.
All right, I'll put it in the chat real quick. Oh, there we go.
What's the DC?
There is none, I think.
Really? Guess one there's a DC.
No, I think the trade-off for friends is that they know after the spell is up that
And I
they
hate
And it only
you.
lasts a minute. Yeah. All right. So she kind of blinks again and then smiles happily. It's like, well, what exactly have you got to sell to me? And
Here, I'll just make this pretty quick and lays out the things.
how
Yeah,
many
go
how,
ahead.
how many items do you have?
How many did you
1,
have?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Are these all from the
18.
the items from the Dragon's Horde?
Oh, from the dragon.
Yeah, because those are the ones I know what the base price is for each of those.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, so you got 5 of those. And she starts off with, ooh, well, I can buy these for about 1,250 gold.
I'd appreciate a little bit of a deal here. You know,
Oh.
we have a business relationship in
Yes.
town, so
Well, that we do, handsome boy.
26 on persuasion.
All right, 26 on persuasion. Well, how much are you thinking?
Oh, let's do another 500 gold on top of that.
500. She thinks 1,750 gold. They are very. I think I can sell them and recoup my losses. And she gives you a strange smile and starts pulling out the gold and putting it on the counter and starts scooping up the items. And there's a flicker in her eyes, the warning that your spell is dropping.
I pick up the gold and I misty step out of the room.
And you hear her
And
looking at
so
going,
I
what? Ah! You hear her scream out in rage from inside there. Thief!
Oh, God.
She screams, but it's more not in a I'm looking for the town guard sort of thing, but more of if I see you again, I'm going to unload a shotgun at you. Well, if she had a shotgun, which is probably a crossbow, but
So how much gold did we get for that?
1,750.
Damn. You
That
nasty.
was for those 5 items.
What the hell did you do?
Let's just say the maitre d' from the resort on the hill got a good deal out of her.
I feel so bad for him. He didn't do anything wrong.
Do they have a magic shop in this place?
Yes, there is the shop nearby on the same street, ruins and such.
Is that random shop?
Yep, that's random shop.
No problem. Random already likes us.
Should we knock out 2 birds in 1 stone?
Works for me.
Okay, so you walk in, the door, the shop tinkles, and you see the blue tiefling behind his counter, kind of like setting up a display of what looks like rings of various sorts. And he looks up, and his eyes go bright as he sees Lobu and Topaz. Ah, you guys again! Oh, I'm so happy to see you.
Hey, buddy. Been a minute. I mean, like 1 day, but
It's
good to see
been
you
like
too.
2, maybe 3 days at this point. So, well, it's a little early, but ready to come sit down and chat with me over a meal?
I'd love to. I think my friends have a little business they'd like
Oh,
to take
okay.
care of first.
And he kind of gives Lebu a bit of a wink. What sort of business can I help you guys with? What
You go
are you
first.
looking for?
I need to look them up.
Well,
Let's see if I had anything on the list.
I was wondering if you had been more reading.
What are you looking for?
Spell scrolls for ritual spells.
Ah. Well, I do have some spell scrolls. What kind of spells are you looking for?
Um, do you happen to have a identify scroll?
Oh, well, I should. Those should be easy enough. What level is identify again? Level 1, level 2?
1.
Okay, so that should be a uncommon. Trying to remember offhand what the value of a spell scroll is when it comes to these sort of items. Well, yes, I should have some of that.
Spell scroll level 1 is basically a common.
Oh, it's a common? Okay, yes,
Yeah.
I do have those. They don't cost too much.
Excellent.
Should be about 50 gold.
You got it. And then along with that, I'll buy some number of materials needed. Yeah, I'll buy like would they have spell materials for that as well?
Oh, I don't have any spell components, I'm afraid. Uh, I basically deal with the items.
That's fair.
Well, I do have. Wait, that's wrong. I do have some interesting stones. The shop name, after all. It's that. Uh, if you're looking for more spells, I mean, I do have some identify spells, but really, you're more likely to find good spells at the spell shop. Gnomish Delights. Uh, and he kind of looks sheepish when he says that. Like, I
That's
wish I
quite
could,
alright.
help you out more with that. But, I do have the identify scrolls on hand. I mean, those are very useful to keep in my shop here. But, any other spell needs, you're going to have to go see her.
Thank you very much. This was just what I was looking for.
As for components, well, he thinks for a moment. Well, Heal Me Now might have some components.
Oh, ooh, I was looking at the wrong thing. This doesn't consume the component. Okay. So I just need a pearl worth 100 gold.
Wait, a pearl? I might have a pearl. I thought you were talking about, herbs and dusts and such.
No, yes, my apologies. I got these mixed up a bit. Yeah, if you had a pearl, that would be
Yes,
excellent.
well, yeah, that would be, 100 gold. He chuckles and goes to a back shelf and finds a couple of pearls. Like, these are the sort of items that are good to have on hand. Like, the, for identify. He laughs
Perfect. Thank you.
and smiles. Well, what about the rest of you? Can I help you with anything? And Dahlia kind of looks around and says, "You know what? I'll be back later into here and check some things out. I could probably use with a bit of change, but I haven't figured out what I want yet."
Fair enough.
Random just kind of nods and smiles at Topaz and Lebu. And you too? And then he looks and notices that, Dread and Noxie are there too. And, well, sorry, um, what about for you? And he first looks at Dread.
I don't think I need anything right now.
All right. And you, miss? And he looks at Noxie.
She just shrugs.
Oh, okay. He tries to put a good smile on there, and then looks again at Lobu and such. So, we did talk about this last time you were in the store. I would like to spend a little time and ask you some questions. And he just kind
Would
of
love to, but first I'm looking for bracers of defense and/or a ring of regeneration.
brushes of defense, ring of regeneration. Let's see. That's good. And he starts. He looks over at his the rings that he was display that he was putting together and taps his chin. I don't have a ring of regeneration, I'm afraid. It's a little bit hard to find. But bracers of defense, yes, actually, I do have a pair of those. And he goes over to a shelf in the corner that doesn't look like it's seen much action recently, and pulls up a set of bracers and carries them over to the counter. This should really help with some problems you might get into.
In other words, might keep me from getting hit so much, yes.
Yes, that would be a very good thing.
What is your price on these?
Well, this particular set of bracers, that'll be 3,100 gold.
Excellent. I need money.
Okay.
Let's see. I need lots of. 3,000, you say?
3,100 gold.
What's the extra 100 for?
What do you mean? Roll a persuasion. With advantage because you're a sea elf.
Let's see. Roll? No.
Well, it's just the price. I mean, there are materials to consider. There's enchanting time. There's people I have to pay to in order to to make sure that the store is nice and stocked.
All right. Well, let me confer with my associates. We just had a bit of a windfall, but a lot of it's got to go towards our ship.
I mean, I'm gonna say this real quietly to the group. Just got 1,000 platinum. I think we're okay. If this is something you really want.
I just don't know when we're going to run into another opportunity for a while.
Yeah, we gotta gear up because we're about to go to war anyway. Actually, I was gonna say maybe we could all use cloaks of protection depending on the price.
I'd trade that in for the bracers any day. Swimming in a cloak, bit of a chore.
Not a bad idea, Lobu. Might be worth picking up at least a couple if we can, but I don't know. We don't want to be reckless with our money. It is finite. We'll think about it, I guess.
How many ways were we splitting the 1,000? How many ways were we splitting the 1,000?
Or
were we?
I don't think we were. I mean, I think technically 100 of it belongs to Thalia.
I just had an idea. Are we still in the shop?
Yes, you guys are standing around talking while the random's watching you guys.
I would like to walk up to Random and hold up a sign. Do you have any items that would help me swim?
Oh, to help you swim. He glances back over towards his rack of rings that was putting together on his counter. Well, let's see. I do have some rings of swimming. If that would help, it should make you a lot faster in the water. Won't exactly to help with weapons. He kind of eyes her up and down. Noxie, is your crossbow on you?
Yes.
But of course you're a crossbow wielder, so from what I understand, that doesn't really hurt in the water anyway. So you should be okay just with some better swimming.
How much?
Well, for a ring like that, let's see here. Oh, whoops, wrong die. Wrong die. 219 gold.
Hmm. I think I'll just pay this out of my pocket right now. Because I have 288 on me right now.
All right. So he plucks up one of the little rings, which how did I close this? Yeah. Which just has like some waves depicted on it, and hands it over to you.
That was
Ring
216, right?
219. Then this ring does not require attunement.
Nice.
Sweet.
By the way, would you be interested in these rubies? And I pull out 10 rubies that are worth 100 gold each.
You know, I think sometimes those can be useful for spell components. I think I might want to buy them. He thinks for a moment. Yeah, I think I will. I can part with 900 gold for those.
900 for 10.
Oh, for 10? Sorry,
Yeah.
I can part with 1,000 for them. I thought you said 9. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah. Leo.
So he takes the 10 rubies and hands you over 1,000 gold.
Random. How much are and do you have any cloaks of protection?
Let's see. Cloaks of protection. He kind of moves over to a very small display of a handful of cloaks. Let's see if any of these are cloaks of protection. Yes. Yes, I actually have several of these. And he holds out a nice kind of a dark blue with gold trim cloak.
I'm telling you, you should really go for a ring if you're going for something like that. Unless you don't intend to go in the water at all.
All right, what's you got rings of protection?
Rings rings of protection.
I think they do the same thing, and I think they're the same price.
He looks back at. He goes back over to his ring collection. He doesn't seem to be upset about this. He's like, anticipating more sales. So it's like, show the customer what they like. Ring of protection. I've only got that. Well, I do actually have 3 of these, but it's a lot more expensive than the cloak. And he looks back at the cloak over there. These will run you. Okay, let's see. That's that much. Let's roll it again. Well, actually, he so yeah, that's that much. Sorry, 1 second. I'm calculating how much I'm on there. So that's 526 gold.
For the cloak or the ring?
The ring.
Oh.
Well, the cloaks, they're worth about 312.
It's a lot cheaper than I thought they would be.
Maybe tuck some of those away for us, and we'll come back when the rest of the party is with us.
Okay. Wait. Does that mean you're gonna come back later to have our talk? And he's kind of looking wistful at Lobu.
Oh no, I'll definitely. Let's definitely have a meal after we're done here.
Okay.
On that note, you don't happen to have an amulet of health, do you?
Ooh, an amulet of health. He kind of glances over towards another display where there's a couple of amulets hanging around. Let's see. Amulet of health. Amulet of health. Taps his chin again. Well, I have a parapet of health. But that's probably not what you're looking for, yes? A parapet of wound closure.
Where's the parapet
there we
of
go.
health?
Amulet of health. I've got one of these. He looks over at that. It's also kind of expensive. 2,340 gold for an amulet of health. Testing, just making sure the voice is still working.
Yeah, we're still here. Do you really want it, Lobu? Do you have the attunement slots for it?
Yeah, I'm not currently attuned to that spooky bracelet, and I am attuned to this cloak of protection.
Okay.
But I think we should buy those rings of protection for folks first.
They're definitely a better deal than the bracers, considering they do almost as much, yet the bracers are over 2,500 gold more. I'm curious as to your pricing system there, Tiefling.
He kind of stares back at Topaz and kind of lowers his head. I'm so I'm so sorry. Like I said, it just depends on the construction materials. When certain items have can protect you more. Instead of simply doubling in price, it kind of goes up exponentially instead.
Well, as you know, the rings not only make one harder to hit, they also make it more likely one will resist magic and such thrown at them, which the bracers do not do. Granted, the bracers are slightly more protective, but We're
Well,
going to compare relative
the-
values. It's
the-
really 3,000 gold more.
The rings of protection don't do anything more against magic.
Sure, they do. They add +1 to saves.
Yeah, I was about to say, but I was like looking at the magic resistance, and like to the, where the tiefling is thinking about it. It's like it's the +1 bonus and the saving throw. It's like yeah,
Let me ask you a serious question. Amongst those that dwell on land, when you couple with another and vow your devotion to them and enter the bonds of matrimony, what do you traditionally give your spouse? Bracers or a ring?
well rings. I mean,
Yes, so therefore, which is more valuable
I
in the eyes of land-dwelling kind?
just thinking that the bracers, well, they're good for people that don't wear armor. Um, they aren't.
Yes,
Yeah,
as
whereas
are rings.
the rings can work with anybody, I suppose. I mean, the bracers would get caught on armor, and the rings, well,
Yes,
they're just
which would
rings.
seem to make the rings more valuable since they can work with armor. The bracers can.
I suppose. I guess it's just that it's easier to make and enchant the rings than it is to make those bracers.
You make them, do you?
No, not me personally. There's some people at the college actually that make them. The Obsidian Hall.
So you're passing the buck, is what you're saying.
Well, and he kind of again looks. He looks more sad and a little bit like what's the term where he's just looking down and looking dejected. If he had big pointy ears, they'd be drooping. I guess dejected is the right word, but he's
No,
looking,
that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I understand. You can blame the pricing system, the economics. We'll be sure to keep that in mind as we bleed and die, protecting your coastal cities from the Sahagwin and the depredations of pirates.
There's a Hagen.
Oh, yes, they're coming. You didn't know that? Maybe you should be more in touch with your
Well,
contacts in Saltmarsh.
well, I've heard of the pirate trouble. I mean, the pirates have the run of some of the islands out here.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, I mean,
We ran into them, full of hobgoblins, rife with them.
I guess
We already fought
hobgoblins
some
in it, too.
Sahagin as well and killed them, left them floating in the sea.
And there's plenty of different groups of pirates out there. Some other nasty ones too. Oh well.
They come in here and cut you up much, do they?
Oh no. The
Oh, and you know
pirates
why
stay out
that
of
doesn't
town.
happen? It's because they have to go through people like us first. Those of us that do not have bracers or rings because they're too expensive.
See, if I was the government of this town, I would for sure, give you an instant break or some extra equipment. But I do need to eat.
Yes, you look underfed.
Kind of sighs a bit. Are you actually trying to persuade him?
No, I'm just trying to make him feel bad.
Well, he's definitely feeling bad.
Don't worry about that too much, Random. You gotta look after yourself first. Do we want to do anything else here, folks? Or
Moxie holds his
Are
time
we-
with Topaz.
Are we buying any rings?
What's the note say, Nuxie?
Are you planning to marry Volan?
What?
And you're seeing that sign just as Dovin's asking if anybody's planning on buying rings.
Yeah.
Do we wanna buy a couple or three?
Dread, do you want one?
A ring of protection would help, but it's not necessary with this armor.
They're a pretty good cost, or a pretty good price at that.
What'd you say, Grizz? 300 something?
All right, so
500
the rings of protection. He's only got 3 of those. 526 gold. He has various cloaks of protection that are worth 312 gold.
Okay.
But he's only got
Do
three.
we-
He's only got 3 rings of protection available.
Right. Should we buy 2 rings? So they can get married? I'm
What?
just... It's a joke, Topaz. Okay. Let's buy 2. Any against that?
Nope.
Cool. So we'll take 2.
Alright, so he takes your money and hands over the rings. And, continues to look towards Lobu.
You ready to go, or
Yeah, I can close down for a bit and go have lunch with you.
sounds good?
Sit and chat. There's a lot I want to know about sea elves and their life down below in the waters. It's so fascinating. And he claps his hands together.
Make sure he knows that we tend to strike fair bargains beneath the waves, unlike here.
Will do, Topaz.
All right. So what would you like? What would the rest of you guys like to do?
I'd like to ask Dovin for the pterodactyl animal figurine.
It's all yours.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna sit with a short rest with that one for whenever we get a chance.
What the hell is that?
It looks like a strange winged thing with a long, narrow face and some sort of frill on the back, but it doesn't look like it's feathered, unlike the birds.
Does Noxie know what it is?
I thought we established that Noxie did hear about what they were, or
Oh, okay.
something,
Yeah.
or somebody mentioned Schultz about that.
Yeah, because I think she was
Oh.
around when we first picked it up. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right. So she is interested in it, so that's why she's holding on to it. She just kind of shrugs at Topaz's question, though.
Yeah, if we're taking a short rest, I want to try out the Staff of the Woodlands, but it's not a Staff of the Woodlands.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the item you picked up. Man, why did I put my notes on that? Back at the from underneath the dragon's body.
Who's getting the rings, by the way?
Well, I guess we need to work that out. So, I mean, I could use it if we gave it one to Dread. They'd be pretty much unhittable. We could also give it to Noxie, or Lobo could take one
Yeah.
too.
I'll take
No,
it. if no one
Lobo
else
has the
wants it.
Cloak of Protection, right?
Yeah.
How often does Noxie get attacked?
Not very often.
Yeah. So
Feel
I want to
like
give one to Dread and then ask Cogsworth if he wants one. If not, I can take it.
Also,
like
rogues have like a
rolling.
billion abilities that prevent them from getting hit.
True. What did you say, Lobo?
The captain might want something like
Oh,
that.
yeah. Yeah, she can take that. Yeah. Give one to Dread and one to Volan. Yeah? Nay?
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
All right. So where are you guys taking the short rest? Since Random is not going to let you stand around inside his shop when he's closing it down to try to get Lobu to come with him to lunch.
I mean, I was just gonna hold on to it until the time came. So if you guys want to do something else until then,
Oh,
Looks, I know both you and Dovin both asked for short rests.
why don't we just like go eat somewhere
Yeah.
while we wait for
Okay. So, yeah. So Random, escorts you away from his shop, and down the street into a, don't fall over. Don't fall over, pages. Sorry, my notes are all spread all over the place over here. That's just my cat. That's just my cat back there. Okay, so he takes you down the street to a an eatery uh, called Crab and Fern.
What's is this place you come often?
Sometimes I kind of like it. He kind of walks inside, and there are some nets hanging along the wall, and there's someone's old trident stuck as a decoration, and some there's a little mural of some weird looking plants, and some bits of coral here and there.
Very nautical.
Yeah, yeah. It's got some good seafood here, and some nice greens that they get inland. And
So,
they get they get you get a seat and sits down. Uh, I've been random shop is called it's on the other page. Is called ruins and such.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. So he sits down and says, "So I've been just wondering so much about your people. I'm so glad you agreed to come out and talk to me a bit about your people. Maybe some about you if you want. What's it like living deep under the water?"
oh, it's great. My tribe in particular lived in a coral reef, and we did a lot
Wow,
of hiding out. But
that must have been
we
pretty.
found, yeah, it's gorgeous. If you ever get a hold of some method of water breathing,
Oh, well, I,
and
I
then he kind of
do
stops
have
short.
I do have rings and such for that. Uh, did I say something wrong?
Oh no, no, I was just it's nothing. You should definitely visit there sometime, though.
Oh, okay.
I'll mark it on a map if you'd like.
Oh, I take it you haven't been back in a while. You have this look in your eye.
Yeah, I kind of forgot for a minute. This last week's been pretty pretty wild, so I kind of. But yeah, I don't I don't go back home. It's too much hassle, you know. You have to go all the way there, and your parents are all asking you questions, you know. But it's very beautiful there.
I mean, here's something I've always wanted to know. I mean, do your people have music? I know that my ears, if I stuck my head underwater, I wouldn't hear things too well. But I know that the sea folk, their hearing is designed around underwater. I mean,
Oh yeah, we've got lots of music. I would say most of it probably wouldn't appeal up here. It's a lot of like
okay.
whale song inspired sort of things. Um, but we've got a few compositions that might do better again. Um, and I I play music myself, actually, though I haven't in a while.
Oh, so you're a musician? That sounds nice. But why haven't you played in a while?
I've been uh, I've been focusing on other stuff,
Ah,
getting good
the
at.
what you and your companions have been up to. Um,
Yeah,
those some interesting things you had to sell.
I'm sure we'll come across more as well. But I've been trying to get tough so I can help them out more.
Well, you don't just need to be tough to help people out. There are other ways. I mean, what is it? What do you do exactly? You personally?
Um, well, mostly I like to get in a spot where I can help someone attack, uh, an enemy more easily. Distraction, that sort of
Distraction
thing.
is quite a noble pursuit. But I mean, do you deal with weapons? Do you cast spells? What do you do?
A little of both.
Hmm.
Mostly I respond with spells, but I also can have been learning to do some pretty crazy tricks with my rapier and my dagger.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Magic can sometimes, go out on you, and you need to have some way of protecting yourself. And when weapons can get stolen, magic is a good backup there too.
Very true.
So, yeah. So what are the rest of you guys doing? So, Dovin, you're short resting and learning about that staff.
Yep.
You going to share this information immediately with other people, or would you like to keep it to yourself?
Yeah, share it.
All right. So, do you know the stats for the staff of the woodlands?
No, I can look it up. Do you
Okay.
have it in the compendium?
It should be, because I know a player in one of my other games has that. It is actually missing two of the main things, like the spell, one of the spells and the thing like listed as tree form are both missing from this staff. Though it otherwise reflects the staff of the woodlands abilities. Uh,
Okay.
Other than replacing the spell awaken, which uses 5 charges, is instead the spell of create blight, which instead of simply awakening a plant or an animal, this one will convert a normal shrub, twigs, tree sapling, etc., into its blight form.
Okay.
Uh, instead of normal tree form, it doesn't seem to have that. It seems to have some kind of communication charm on it, but you're some kind of sending spell, but you're not entirely sure where it goes to.
Hmm. Curious. Okay, well that's cool.
But it has all the other components of the Staff of the Woodlands, so it's like +2 to attack and damage rolls made with it. While holding it, you have +2 bonus to spell attacks, to spell rolls. Staff has 10 charges, and all the things that go with that. And you can also use an action to cast Pass Without a Trace spell without using any charges. So
That's
Damn.
really useful.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, the Staff of the Woodlands is a really nice item. The fact that it's only a rare and not an ultra rare or legendary is shocking to me.
I'm looking at this. I'm like, this
Yeah,
is amazing.
the
This
gnome
is
the gnome druid in the other game in my Sunday game has one. He has awoken so many trees and has named them all after celebrities. Two of them died. Two of them died while fighting giants, though.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, but he has passed on the trace from that staff. He has the boots of Elvenkind, and to cap it all off, he found the cloak of invisibility. Nobody ever sees him or hears him. He could be anywhere at any time.
I'm also the figurine. Is it? It's probably
No,
magical, right?
it's not magical. It's just very pretty and very well crafted.
Dang. I was hoping it was like one of those animal figurines that you can turn into actual animals.
Sadly, no.
Get a pterodactyl mount.
Well, it vanished not long after. I mean, those things are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, for you, maybe it's slightly disappointing that the thing you're holding is not magical, but Dovin, who are you probably eating with alongside Dovin, or like, just sitting together somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but meanwhile, you notice that Dovin is getting very excited by what he has. And what about Topaz and Dread? What are you two doing?
I think I'd be with Dovin, kind of attending to the ring.
Okay. Yeah, that's that new ring of protection. I take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Topaz.
I just go back to the sea. The hell with this place.
So this looks like a good place to stop for this week, and hopefully next week the rest of the party will be able to join.
I'm really hoping Volan's not in trouble. I just saw that Trump is banning all travel from Europe starting Friday.
Good God.
Jeez.